Well, like I want to make a little bit of a real blog here, man, about the kind of like the realness of being hindered for not getting together on Thanksgiving. It's the whole thing about it's like hard to like get a grasp that you can't actually kind of do the things we want to do. You know what I mean? So like in other words, there's like certain responsibilities now that we gotta, as adults, like really kind of put into perspective. This thing about having Chicago locked down. I mean, you watch it on TV. You know, you watch it on TV and you're like, you kind of get used to it. You know, basically you get used to it is what it is. And then it's like you're thinking, you're tapping your head, man. Like, how much of this stuff should I really be taking to like real serious consideration? And man, we do, So the thing is that you don't want to be paranoid. You don't want to be paranoid, but on the other hand, you don't want to be too lenient, because you got to remember something. Like, if we go out there, and we go out there and going and picking up other relatives, right? From like sometimes out of a state, you're bringing other young kids, aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, and all that. Right. So we're kind of used to having our Thanksgiving that we wanted, like just really sheltered up in a little family box, where it wasn't hindered before. That, to be honest with you, I mean I can't remember in my life where there was a real honest to goodness circumstance where we had to not get together because of some kind of incident. So if you have kids that are even if they're in their 20s, so you may have kids even in your 20s, that this is like the first time that they've ever had to like stay away from family, like purposely and consistently. So basically you see people doing things like, well, we're going to have a family outing in the yard. That's fine, man. If you live in California or you're in Mexico or, I come from a Latino neighborhood, when you think about Pilsen or Back to the Yards or, 26th Street, that's all, that's mi barrio, man, That's where my hood is at, Jack. So, I get just how family oriented that these communities are. And they're really, they're really family oriented. Most of my family are in Latino genre, especially my family that's, heavily Mexican family. I have some family that's, Serbian and Croatian, and they're very family oriented as well. Puerto Ricans too, stepdad, basically, when you're in a community that's that family oriented, like you can kind of think we just passed with Halloween with Day of the Dead. A lot of people, like ourselves were, celebrating Day of the Dead for the family as well, besides Halloween. So, what we have is, this very strange, very surreal too, man, like a real surreal, almost dreamlike circumstance where we have this outside force that's stopping us from, uniting as a family, and it really sucks if you have family that's already distant, So, but, realistically speaking, we gotta like really, get a good grasp, man, of how important that is not to expose our elderly, especially, and children too, because the elderly and children are especially prone to these kind of things. And I can't say in good conscience, man, that, like, I can't really say in good conscience that if you go about your Thanksgiving, you just kind of go about it the way you normally would. You know what I'm saying? You go about it the same way you normally would, that everything's going to be okay. Chances are everything's going to be fine. Maybe, maybe not. But I wouldn't take a chance of it, especially, it's a weird thing. And I'm going to tell you what kind of the parallel issue is. Like, it's a very strange, kind of a prognostication with the elderly, because strangely enough, your grandparents and your parents probably usually don't go out much. So, they should be more safe than other people simply for the fact that they don't go out much. You go, yeah, well, they're going to be safe if they don't go out much. But if you're bringing your kids and you're bringing your son-in-law, you're bringing your wife and her. I'm trying to look at the word. I guess in-laws, right? So you're bringing like her brother and her sister and so forth. Like I said, if you're in a big Latino, Puerto Rican, or Mexican or Cuban family or something, you like to bring out the toda la familia. You know what I mean? Bring them all out. So yeah, man, it's gonna be risky for mom and pop. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be risky. So you don't really want to expose elderly people to that kind of you know what I'm saying. As we got to be adults about making right decisions. However, we got Zoom, so we got Zoom and we got other digital formats. So I'm sure every little family will have their own little circle of every circle of family, which is saying people that live in a household will have their own version of Thanksgiving. But you can connect your family to your brother's family or your sister's family, and you can do that through Zoom and digitally. And hey, man, it can still work out. You know what I mean? So have faith for the holidays, as it were.